Hey,
Hey,
it's the STS guys. We're back
again.
Again.
I feel like I just saw you guys.
That's because you did, Nate, an hour ago. But we're back.
But I changed my shirt.
It's like a whole new guy.
I know.
He had costume changes. Wow, that's impressive.
That is.
It's like a high budget podcast. You know. Like
Hey, I'm trying to
costume
bring my A
changes.
game this weekend. You know.
It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty special because we're live for Nerds Unite Con with a special guest. Dun, 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 dun.
It's
Tyler
me.
Calvert.
Tyler
Hey.
Calvert.
Tyler.
Look at that timing.
Good to be back.
Good to have you here, man. You sound great,
It's
by
been
the
a
way.
while.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sound
Thank
great.
you. I thought so. It was
Yeah.
having a little bit of issues a bit ago. That's why I tried to double check, make sure my audio was fine.
Yeah, you sound perfect. So
Love
yeah,
technology.
this is going to be our final panel for Nerds Unite Con. But
Oh,
as
is it
soon
really?
as soon as we started talking about it, right, that we were going to set this up, I'm like, we have to talk to Tyler about movies. Tyler's got a great YouTube channel. He does trailer reactions, movie reviews, movie news, all that kind of stuff. So real quick, Tyler, where can we find you online? Like Twitter and stuff, and your YouTube channel. Where's it at?
Well, Twitter and Instagram, it's really easy. That it's Tyler Calvert. I mean, it's very simple. And then my YouTube channel is my name. So the name you see on my little name tag thing over on this side, you just type that in, and I'm pretty much the main result that pops up these days. So,
You are, which is pretty cool.
yeah, it took a while because it's been. I mean, when I started out, there was a couple other ones, but I finally reclaimed dominance of my name on YouTube.
Search engine optimization. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, YouTube algorithm.
You vexed all of the other Tyler Calvert. So like,
Yeah.
now
There can
Tyler
only be
Calvert.
one.
That's awesome.
Funny, man. Yeah, that's cool. So we thought we would do right. We were just going to talk through whatever, basically, just San Diego Comic-Con news. There wasn't a whole lot of new stuff, but there was some new news. A couple trailers.
Yeah,
couple
not too
things.
many, but a couple.
No, unfortunately, not as much as we would have gotten for a normal San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
But
That would have been. It's crazy to think how much we probably would have gotten at this Comic Con if it had been like a normal San Diego Comic Con.
yeah, right. Especially with no Marvel stuff, no DC stuff, really. Like
They're
it's-
doing their own thing. DC fandom 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just different. But I think what do you guys think the biggest news was out of Comic-Con? Where should we start?
As far as for me, I guess like as far as like from Comic Con at home news, I would have to say the number one thing is the fact that the new Mutants is not moving. Like it's the fact that it had a trailer, it had a panel, and all that stuff at Comic Con at home, and we all thought that okay, is it going to be a thing where they're actually going to go with the release date? Many people thought it was going to be just we're going to announce it's going to be out on VOD soon, or it's going to be on probably like Hulu, HBO Max, Disney, because there's like a whole rights issue thing for why they can't just drop it on Disney Plus because of the whole Fox merger and all that stuff. So it would have to go to HBO Max. That's why it's not going to go to HBO Max. It's a legal thing. It's annoying, but it's not exciting to talk about. That's all. But we got a trailer, the panel, and it actually said in theaters August 28th, 2020, after they made fun of how many times they've had to delay it since it's been delayed for years now. I mean, it looks great. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the trailer or watched any of the panel at all, because I know you guys have been busy. But
Yeah.
I think the trailers look really cool. It's just unfortunate that it's just been a movie that's been stuck in limbo for so many years now.
No.
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
not-
I got. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh no, go ahead, Nate.
I was going to say, it is kind of nice getting some new footage because previously it just was so ominous about what this is really going to be about. How much are they going to show the powers? Is it more focusing on just the emotional side of stuff? But this new trailer definitely confirmed that it's going to give us some action. We're going to get to see the different mutants, using their powers. Somebody mentions Macy Williams. It is kind of cool to see her, in something new because I've only seen her in Game of Thrones. So it's really cool to kind of see her. But yeah,
But she's so young in these trailers.
I know.
That's
Well,
true.
they filmed a movie like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah. Yeah,
the guy from Stranger Things is in it too, right? The guy who plays Jonathan. He
Yeah,
looks so
Charlie
young.
Heaton.
Like, so
Yeah,
hopefully it
Anya
comes out soon.
Taylor-Joy. Anya Taylor-Joy's in it as well. You know, she's
Yeah.
been popular in the recent years since this movie was in production.
Yeah, it's crazy how long it's taken.
It's almost to their detriment, though, that it's been taking so long, because now it's getting kind of a bad rap for it. Tyler said it. They make fun of themselves by they keep crossing out the dates. Just give us the damn movie already. Like, put it on video on demand. Like, stop delaying it, because I think people are going to lose interest because they've been hearing about it for so long and not seeing anything.
No,
I think that's the thing, is so many people have already lost interest. That's why it's such a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to check out the trailer. I checked out, like I said, the additional footage, because they showed the opening scene, right? And so, like I said, I actually want to see this movie. Like I said, this movie actually would have been a perfect candidate for testing the waters for VOD. Like I said, if they wanted to test anything for VOD, like I said, this would have been the perfect.
That's also, you make a good point, because I forgot to also mention the fact that they literally just straight up showed you the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and like, I think summer is prime time for a drop like that, and nothing else is dropping. So I think, what Jeremy was saying, they probably would have got really good sales if they would have just dropped it on video on demand.
No, absolutely. Well, and then I think the other thing, right, is, like I said, it just, I think I'm also, like I said, what's also kind of killing the buzz for this movie for me, like I said, besides like wanting to see it, and then they're not obvious, like I said, like I said, we live in Texas, right? So it's we're not seeing that movie on August 28th. It's not going to happen here.
Same. Our theaters aren't open.
Yeah, I said it's not going to happen. But also kind of the other thing, right? It's like they were talking in the panel, right, about, like I said, like how this movie was actually supposed to be a spin-off for basically kind of a whole darker like
trilogy,
like X-Men universe with trilogy. So they're actually going to do like an alien invasion type story. And so, like I said, which can, like I said, if you're thinking X-Men, New Mutants, like I said, you automatically think the Brood, like I said, when you're talking about, like I said, an alien invasion. So just to think what we could have had that I know we're never going to have, just because
it's just because it's been in limbo for so long. Like it's been in limbo for so long. During the panel, the director Josh Boone was talking about like Blu-ray extras. Like he was talking about there's going to be all these deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, and we're going to have this, and this on the Blu-ray. And it's like have the movie come out first, between that and then the trilogy, the first of a proposed trilogy, and then we can't even get the first movie out. It's just, it's walk before you run,
And I think after Dark Phoenix, people are really wanting some good new X-Men content and like a new jump off point. And this seems like that's what it is.
I think it was going to be a really good jumping off point, and now that Fox acquired Disney acquired Fox, they could use it as a way to segue them into the MCU, the X-Men, where you don't have to go straight on with like the main core X-Men. But I don't know. I don't really know what the plan is as far as if it's going to be a one and done. We're just gonna finally actually release this thing and then move on, and then we'll just probably recast those people eventually again sometime in the future. Or I guess it also depends on box office numbers, because if this movie somehow makes like a truckload of money, they may be more inclined to actually have it again, just because it's such a perfect candidate because you have so many well-known stars in it. If you really wanted to bring them over to the MCU, because you got Macy Williams, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things. There's talent in the cast. It's just that it's been in production so long, and it's just hold out for so long, and then like that bad taste, like you said, with Dark Phoenix, that was kind of like the really bad end to the franchise, where it didn't do very well and also didn't have very good reviews. So it kind of just, the X-Men franchise from Fox kind of just went out with a whimper.
Yeah, I love your idea, Tyler. Like, start with some unknown characters and then work it into the MCU that way. Like, maybe the movie ends with them being discovered by, the mutant school, Xavier's school, and then they just walk in there and then it ends, and it's like, oh crap, now we're gonna get some more X-Men.
Whoever they end up casting.
Yeah.
So you could also have hints, like I said, just because there's another trailer that came out during Comic-Con, right? That was, like I said, it had a very similar vibe. Like I said, I could see basically Hellstrom crossing over, like I said, with this universe, right? Just
Yeah, I thought
very
that too.
similar
I know
vibe
you guys.
between the two.
I know you guys talked about the trailer a little bit yesterday because I was actually excited for it. I mean, it's hard to be excited for it because of well, you know where it's probably going to lead because of the whole fact that it's another one of those like last remnants of something that's no longer going to happen. So it's kind of sad because you know it's probably not going to matter what happens with it. It's just not, you're going to watch it and then probably be upset because it's probably going to never have like a conclusion and you're never going to really see these people ever again.
It's unfortunate, but probably true.
Well, because they fired the showrunner. The showrunner, they've already fired.
Yeah.
They laid him off because of they laid him off and the last showrunner for the Punisher. They laid them both off. Supposedly due to like, you know, people making layoff cuts during the coronavirus pandemic, and the showrunner for Hellstrom is going to like help finish post-production and all that stuff. But like he's laid off. Like you're going to fire your showrunner for this show before it even comes out. Like that sounds like a disaster.
Yeah. It's just frustrating to hear stuff like that happen.
Yeah. It looked good though. From that little teaser we got, it looks perfect for like Halloween time.
It looks great. I mean, it actually, I think Jeremy said this, seeing that really makes me want to see it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I was going to say, that was the one that's on Hulu, right?
Yeah, Hulu, right around October 16th, so right around Halloween time, because every year, like, Hulu does, like, Hulu-ween, and it's, like, a bunch of scary stuff on their platform, and that's part of their Hulu-ween thing. So we'll see if it does well. I hope it does well, just because it looks so cool, and the character of Hellstrom he's interesting. I mean, he's not a household name or anything, so it would have been cool to see him tie into a potential Ghost Rider show, the Robbie Reyes show that they just canceled.
Yeah, but with everything up in the air right now, right, with COVID delays and stuff, like, who knows?
Yeah.
So doesn't mean it couldn't come back.
So I want to diagnose this trailer a little bit, if you guys don't mind, because I maybe don't know as deep of cuts of these Marvel characters, where I feel like maybe Jeremy or Tyler, you guys might be able to like identify these guys a little bit easier. So who's the bear? Like, where's the bear coming from? Do you guys know who that is?
You talking about Demon Bear?
Yeah, Demon Bear. Like, who is that? Because I was like, what is that?
It's a villain. So it's a pretty creepy villain. I think Jeremy would probably describe it better because like I'm knowledgeable in comics, but like New Mutants wasn't one like I was super into. Like I'm more of like, you know, Spider-Man, you know, a couple other big ones. I was never super into the New Mutants comics. Like I know about them a little bit just from reading X-Men and watching the X-Men animated series and the X-Men films, but as comics go, I never really crossed over into many of the other spin-offs for X-Men.
Which is one reason why I love this idea, because you get like people I don't know about. So Jeremy, drop us some knowledge here.
Honestly, there's not a whole lot of back history with Demon Bear. I said literally said the character was brought in, I said by Chris Claremont back in the day. I said just to kind of be a kind of a one-off like kind of battle for the New Mutants. And so, like I said, it's specifically, like I said, battling like Warpath, like I said, back in the day. And then, like I said, eventually the character actually helped bring in Psylocke, like I said, into the X-Men universe. And so it's actually Psylocke that actually ends up like taming, I said, Demon Bear to actually like utilize it against other enemies. So, like I said, there's a couple like deep cuts, like I said, in regards to there. But like I said, there's not a whole lot of history. I think he's only shown up in the comics like maybe 3 or 4 times.
That's pretty impressive if he's only shown up that many times and he has a whole like villain as a superhero.
Yeah, or it was like, we need a villain for this show. We're not going to give you any A-list. We're not going to give you B-list. We're not going to give you C-list, but you can have this D-list bear.
That's also true because of the X-Men franchise. I mean, they can't give you Magneto. They already ruined Apocalypse, and like, there's only a handful left big X-Men villains they could really use. So I guess, and they wouldn't want to use one in a Mutants movie. So I guess that is true.
Exactly.
Plus, if they kill it off, and it's like, oh, well, that was just Demon Bear.
Yeah,
you know.
That's how it went down.
Yeah, that also confirms another character. So that's definitely Psylocke, right? The blade sword girl.
Well, that's Magic, isn't it?
Oh, is that Magic?
It's
Yeah.
magic. It's magic. I said the New Mutants. Like, however,
Okay.
like I said, I think there's probably going to be several teases to some other X-Men. Like I said in this movie, like just the way that, like I said, from some different cuts, like in regards to the hospital and the setup, like you see a lot of you see a lot of different kind of like similar angles when they were what was it? What X-Men movie was it? I said where Wolverine was Weapon X.
Which one are you talking about? When he was
Apocalypse.
Was it Apocalypse?
Yeah, where they're being held.
Where they tease Mr. Sinister?
Oh, then that was that one.
Yeah.
So, because I thought of him as Weapon X in the second one as well.
Yeah. So I think they said I think there's probably going to be some probably more teases to Mr. Sinister in here. It's just I don't know. Like I said, it's just I don't want to look too deep into it just because, like I said, I know it's not going to go anyplace.
That's the sad part about it is you want to be hyped for this movie because it looks good, but at the same time, you know it's probably not going to go anywhere, which I think is part of what hindered Dark Phoenix. Because Dark Phoenix, I mean, we had already known at that point that they were going to scrap everything and move on with the X-Men. So it's like, why should I care about Dark Phoenix?
Yeah,
it's a shame. We'll see.
It's cool though, because I think they're. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Tyler.
Oh, you're fine. I was finishing anyway.
I think it's cool because they're also going to give us Cannonball and Sunspot, and they, briefly show some of their powers, which is cool. And then Wolfsbane is another one. So I'm just glad that we get some extra characters. But yeah, it's sad that now this movie has been tainted.
Yeah,
just to release it already, man.
I agree.
Yeah,
like I said a couple weeks ago, right? There's no way I would watch this in a theater. I mean, given normal times, but I'll totally watch it at home right now during COVID.
We talked about this, like to Larry's point just now. Like, do you think it's going to make more money in theaters in September, or will it make more money right now in the middle of summer when there's nothing else out?
Oh,
I think it's a tough call, just because, like, I mean, it's just in the sense that, yeah, you could probably make more. To be fair, I also don't think Disney cares about the movie that much. If I'm being honest, I think they just they clearly just don't care. Yeah. But I think it could be. I don't think it'll make a lot of money either way. That's why I guess I'm conflicted on if it would make more money in theaters or VOD, because I don't expect it to make a lot anyway.
Yeah. No, and like I said, and it's like I said. Even like I said, when this movie was, like I said, even when it was still with Fox, right, and it was still, like I said, being made. So there's one character that's actually not in the movie that's basically a pinnacle character, like I said, part of the New Mutants, which is Warlock, right? So Warlock is like I said, a shape shifting kind of like I said, kind of a different kind of character. He's like a different kind of crazy character where you had to basically. There's no way to do this character without doing a ton of CG, right? And so I said during the panel, they also were talking about, like I said, oh yeah, that was the original plan, was to have Warlock. I said in the movie, but we couldn't financially afford to do it. So like, hey, we do it for the second one. So I just had to read a quote real quick, just because I said this is funny, and this kind of just shows kind of like this movie is kind of doomed the way it is. So this is about Warlock specifically. So this is from the director. So he was in our early drafts. He was really in until maybe 6 months before we shot. But he doubled our budget. It was too expensive. The studio had a very hard place that we needed to be at financially to launch the movie, and Warlock was left out in order to make it possible to make the movie. So our plan was always to put him in the second one. So I hope everyone goes and watches this movie.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy to think that just having him be in a movie would double your entire movie's budget?
That's crazy.
Like, just think of like a Captain America movie. Like if Captain America and they had to add someone else into the Captain America, and it would have doubled the budget just because of the effects done, the work on him.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did notice, I was watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 30th anniversary panel this morning. And I was kind of right. I was on YouTube. I was a little bored because it was a couple old guys talking about a movie they made 30 years ago. So I went to the main CCI channel and sorted the videos by most viewed, because I was curious, which one of these panels like people cared about. And there's some old stuff on there, but for 2020, the New Mutants panel had more views than most stuff. It had more views than The Boys.
Really?
Yeah, and more views than Walking Dead. Like, people are interested.
I think at this point it's just like a novelty interest. Like, what are they going to do with this movie?
Yeah.
And at the point, like that, it's just a novelty at this point. Like, what are they going to do with it? We'll see. What I will tune in just to see what they're going to do with this movie.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. So I think we're 20 minutes in. I think we're all on the same page. We just want to see it, man. And I think that's what the whole world. We just want to see it. You know what? What else I want to see that is going to be released on demand? The new Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah, on demand and theaters September 1st.
And in theaters, whatever that means.
Hey, if your theater's open and you got a drive-in that wants to show the movie, you can go see it in the theater. But you can also just stay home. So it is what it is.
But kudos to them for making that decision, announcing it now. That's another one that I really want to see. I think it would do well in the theaters, but it's going to do even better with the co at home and co at theaters.
I think it'll do well because of the VOD.
And the trailer. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was gonna say, I'm like, so the only other comparison movie for like VOD right now is Trolls, right? And that did incredibly well.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was a movie geared towards kids. Here's a movie that's actually geared towards adults. And so this, like I said, it's a perfect test. And like I said, I think they're gonna make way more money, probably VOD, than they would have actually if it would have released in the theater. Because it's such a pent-up demand.
The franchise in general has never been like a giant moneymaker anyway. So I mean, it would be interesting to see the box office, I guess, if they release how much money they make off VOD, because the majority of these VOD releases, they don't release how much money they made. Only Universal with Trolls World Tour, they decided to flex how much money they made. Everybody else just kept it under wraps.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes too, right? I mean, Trolls is a big deal, but this is kind of a big deal too. And there's a lot of nostalgia behind it, and we're all just sitting around not doing anything.
And I think, this is one of those movies that kind of has like a cult following to it. Like, it's not, to Tyler's point, it was never huge, but there's a lot of people that just really love it. Yeah. And
Keanu is super popular right now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So I'm watching the trailer and, talking about Keanu, because Keanu came from like the Bill and Ted era, and that's who you used to see him as in movies. He always had characters that were kind of like, oh, what, dude? Point Break, like surfer guy. Then he grows up, goes into Matrix, gets real serious into John Wick. He's in this much more serious movies. Now he's back in Bill and Ted. It's almost hard to see him back in that again, because I feel like he's evolved so much since then.
I agree.
And I feel like he's almost he in the trailer. I mean, I want to see the whole movie, but it's almost like he's playing a part now and not really being himself.
Well, he was just a kid, man.
Yeah,
he doesn't have the beard anymore. That's the weird thing.
That's true.
It's like, who is this guy? I haven't seen this guy in forever.
I think you'll forget about it once you start watching it, because the trailer looks really good, right? I think the premise is really good. It's got their daughters. Right, it's got death back, so it's got some throwbacks to the first two movies, and it's kind of like one of those sequels, like a Ghostbusters 3, like that was everybody always kind of wanted, but like you never thought it was actually going to be made. And but here we are in 2020, and we're going to get another Bill and Ted movie. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, who would have thought that we get another Bill and Ted movie? Because I mean, the second one came out in the early '90s, so let's say 91.
It's been a long time.
So, I mean, I couldn't imagine there being... I mean, that was before I was born. I was born in 93. So it's just crazy to think that a movie came out that long ago. And, I mean, it wasn't like, in terms of financial success, it wasn't a big box office hit or anything. So, I mean, otherwise they would have made one by now. So it's just kind of cool to see them bring that back. And not even just the fact they brought it back, but they even got, Keanu Reeves back as well. Because that's one of those other things. You never want to have a franchise come back and it's like, oh, well, we have to kill off the main character to bring back the franchise.
Or they do it the Ghostbusters way, where they just totally replace the cast.
And that would have been
weird.
Well,
and then they bring them back as other people.
Yeah, that would have been awful.
It would be like they did a reboot of Bill and Ted, and then like Alice Winter and Keanu Reeves were just playing other people.
Yeah, Bell and Tina.
And the funny thing is, like I said, I'm just like thinking in the back of my head, right? Because like Keanu like has gone off and done like to your point, Nate, like he's done like John Wick. He's he's filming a fourth Matrix movie right now. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. Whereas I think I think of Alex Winter, I'm like, come on, Keanu, you gotta make it. You gotta be
come on, man.
I gotta be relevant.
You think that's what it was? You think that's what it was for like the last 30 years almost? It's like, please, Keanu, please.
Yeah,
Keanu, you're huge now. How much money do you have, dude? Can't you just help me produce this movie?
Yeah, because watching the panel, right? Because Kevin Smith hosted the Bill and Ted panel. Like I said, Alex Winter is so passionate about this movie, like it's ridiculous.
I mean,
that's all he's got going on right now, man.
Yeah,
I'd be hella passionate about like my first movie in a big budget movie in the last 25, 30 years or so.
Yeah, we're talking about Keanu Reeves like evolving, and Alex Winter is still the same place, you know?
Yeah. Well, Keanu Reeves isn't like an Academy Award winner or anything with his acting. No. He's still entertaining, at least.
True.
Well, and so just to hear like the history, right, of this like where like Keanu Reeves came from and how he got to like where he was at and with like Bill and Ted, like in regards to like how he got discovered for Bill and Ted, that were actually in a McDonald's line. So him and Alex Winter were in a McDonald's line behind the two screenwriters, who basically played out Bill and Ted, like said themselves. They actually were in character all the time. They're like, hey, who should be Bill and Ted? And they were at a McDonald's, and then Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves were in front of them, and that's how they got to become Bill and Ted.
Yeah, it's such a weird story, such a crazy turn of events. Cool. Who thought that would be such like a historic moment?
Right?
Yeah, it starts like you're acting. Yeah, and I mean, just think about Keanu Reeves. It started like his acting career, you know.
Keanu Reeves' acting career started in a McDonald's parking lot.
Freaking crazy.
There was a lot of Keanu for Comic-Con at Home, though, just because of that. I mean, not only did they have the Bill and Ted Face the Music stuff, but they also had the 15th anniversary of Constantine?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was the 15th anniversary. It's crazy to think it's been that long because, I mean, like, time is a little bit different lately, obviously, as we're all basically stuck at home. But, like, when I think back to how long ago I saw that movie, I don't, like, picture, like, 15 years, you know?
It's true. And
same with the Turtles with its 30th anniversary. Wow. I can't think of Constantine. It's 15 years ago already. Like, where is the time going?
Yeah. It's crazy. I've been alive all this time. Oh, man, I'm old.
The Turtles one makes me feel old.
Yeah, it makes me feel really old. I was 5 when it came out.
Yeah.
I wasn't born. I was born in 93. I watched that. I guess that's part of why I'm partial to liking Secret of the Ooze more, because I was like, that was the one I grew up with. Yeah. I don't really care for the third one. I think a lot of people don't care for the third one. I guess if we're going to touch upon Turtles again a little bit, I know you guys are probably sick of it as you just talked about it on the podcast. But
never
sick of Turtles.
Turtles 2 is the one I always really enjoyed, and then first one was really good as well. It was dark and gritty. Second one was kind of more for the kids, and then the third one they kind of just ruined everything.
The only thing about Turtles 2 that surprises me is that they created 2 monsters for it, Tokar and Razor. They were never part of the show, never part of anything, when they already had 2 characters that were exactly like that in Bebop and Rocksteady.
I know. That was always one of the weird things about that movie growing up, because I did watch the cartoon, and like you see Bebop and Rocksteady in the cartoon, and you're wondering like, who are these 2 like these faux Bebop and Rocksteady?
Yeah, I remember watching the trailer, and I thought that was going to be Bebop and Rocksteady because it's teasing Shredder is dumping ooze into this thing, and there's an animal back there. Like, oh my god, they're going to give us the Bebop and Rocksteady. But no, it's Toka and Razor.
It's weird. Kevin Nash.
The Kevin Nash thing's pretty cool. Like it's almost so ridiculous now, like that they didn't do that. I'm sure there's a good story there that I just don't know.
Got to be a reason why. Yeah.
But like Tokar and Razor, they're pretty cool, man. Like,
I don't think they're not the people I wanted, you know.
It's just funny because they started it with 2 animals, and it's like you're gonna go animal route. You know, that's a pig and a rhino. Why don't you just do that?
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. It's almost funny.
It's funny.
I know. I mean, I know they're supposed to be making another Turtles movie or something. Like I think that is like Seth Rogen is supposed to produce it. I believe that's
cool.
like the last I heard. They're making another Turtles movie to some degree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's not like Michael Bay involved or anything.
Thank
Oh my god.
After the
You didn't
Michael
like
Bay,
the two Turtles Bay
From
produced
space?
movie?
I couldn't. The Transformers.
I only watched that one like the first 15 minutes, and when they explained the origin is that they were from space, I'm like, nope, I'm done.
Well, yeah, because they were originally I mean, before the outcry, they were going to be aliens. They were going to be alien turtles or whatever, and then everyone was angry on the internet, so they let them be the Ninja Turtles again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awful.
Yeah,
It looks like like the Seth Rogen one is supposed to be animated, but yeah, it was about a month ago. They dropped some news, so we could be getting that sometime soon.
I
Maybe
liked the animated TMNT, even though it went nowhere. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not.
Yeah, from like maybe like 2008 ish.
Yeah, it was like mid to late 2000s, and like they made like an animated movie, and then it kind of just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
What about comment from Ed? Ed says originally the studio wanted Bebop and Rocksteady to appear. However, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were not in favor of it. Oh wow,
interesting.
That's fair. I mean, that's confusing if you don't want them, but you want two other monsters, though. Seems kind of confusing.
Yeah, right. Just let them use the right ones rather than just make a ripoff. But whatever. Hollywood.
Maybe they didn't sign off on it or something along those lines. Well, if you're not going to give us these two, we'll just make two other ones that are just like
Yeah. How about a quick shout out to well, of course, Ed. Thank you, Ed, for hanging out. But shout out to Great Game. No, hold on. I'm gonna get this right. Shout out to Great Game. He likes our collections, all four of us, right? Tyler's got a dope Blu-ray shelf behind him. So thank you for
I got the Blu-rays. I mean the camera's flipped, so that's why sometimes I get the wrong.
Yeah, same. We always do it every time.
Some of my photos are over here. I actually have memorabilia on all my walls, but most people don't see them on the two sides. But the ones I have over here and over here, because I have a bunch of really good ones that are like up top as well. It's really cool. Just things I've collected over the years. A lot of them are from cons. I even have stuff on my door. I try to move it over a little bit. I got a bunch of posters on the door as well. I got a Warby Ferrari, Godzilla versus Destroya, Black Widow. I got a Black Widow print and a WandaVision print from Andy Park at Ace Comic Con. I got a bunch of nerd stuff in here.
Very cool. Us too, man. Us too. I like your lanyards too. Yeah.
It's just like a ton of lanyards from a bunch of different things, concerts and concerts and Comic Cons and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think we all have that hanging somewhere. I know Jeremy's is on his wall. Mine's in my closet on like one of the hanger things. Yeah, there's Jeremy's by the bathroom. I've
always been impressed by his pop wall because it's like so large.
Pretty impressive. You can't even see it good. Like when he sits at the other computer. Yeah, look. It just goes on forever.
It's impressive. I like all your guys' stuff, even the pops in your background, and Nate got all the cool Turtles figures.
I feel like I do this all the time, but yeah, there's the rest of my pops because I'm moving.
It's funny because because I know a lot of you obviously love Funko Pops, and I really don't own that many of them. So I always feel ashamed when I see everyone talking about Funko Pops, and I only have like a handful. I have some really cool ones, but they're all in my living room.
Oh, I'm with you though, Tyler. I mean, I collect action figures, but I don't really collect pops either. So
well, I figured you did one or the other. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Everybody collects what they like, right? That's all.
Those NECA figures are really cool. A lot of those NECA figures are awesome. I've seen the ones that you post on your Instagram, and I actually am thinking about buying one because I saw. I guess not to stray too off topic. It is kind of movie related, but I saw that NECA posted the pictures of their Ghostface figure.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, that looks awesome. I need that Ghostface because I'm a huge street fan.
That was one of the virtual con reveals. Is they're making an ultimate Ghostface, which they haven't made a Ghostface for so long. So NECA collectors are like dying for it.
I know I'm gonna get one. Because that looks awesome. Because I like Ghostface. I'm excited for Scream 5 when it does come out because that's gonna come out I think they're going to start filming it sometime early next year, or maybe later this year. So we'll see when that actually comes out in theaters, because we don't have movie theaters right now. But we'll see.
Well, then they can't, like, depending on what you're doing production wise, like, right. That part of the problem is Hollywood can't make movies because actors and stuff can't be close by. Like, they can. There's a risk of getting COVID too, so it's really messing everything up.
It's tough because certain places you have to, like, a lot of the people that are filming overseas, you got to, like, go over there and then you quarantine for 2 weeks and then you can start filming, because
okay.
Avatar started back up not that long ago. It's funny because Avatar is actually one of the things I was going to talk about with everything else I had on my list of things to talk about from Comic-Con and home, because Avatar, of course, got delayed another year.
Yeah.
So it's not going to come out until, we'll see if it comes out at all. But I mean, it'll come out eventually, I guess. But December 2022 now it's going to come out instead of December 2021.
Okay. That's probably for the best for them, for planning purposes, because that's one of those ones, kind of like Black Widow. Right. There's no way they're doing a home release for Avatar 2, especially after all this time. Right. Avatar owned the box office. They the studios, there's no way they're going to put that to home release. They want to have to test the waters for what they can actually get with theaters, assuming that the world is back normal by 2022. So it'll be interesting. I mean, we're all in trouble if it's not, right?
It is funny though when you think about how long it's been delayed, because this isn't like the first, second, or third time the Avatar has been delayed. The sequel, I mean, because originally Avatar 2 was going to come out in 2014, and then they just move it a year. They just move it back a year, like, every time. So now it's 2022 because James Cameron is like a perfectionist.
Which is fine. But yeah, I just looked it up because I didn't remember. The first Avatar came out in 2009. So it's been 11 years.
It's been like a long time. It's
not
weird.
Only that, but there's going to be 3 other ones after the second one. There's going to be 5 of them. The last Avatar 5 now, and now that everything got moved back, it's slated to come out. I mean, it'll be delayed. Like, all these movies will get delayed. But
just like,
as of right now,
nobody's asking for it, though.
That's also
I mean, come on, James Cameron. Come on, James Cameron. Who wants the sequel to Space Pocahontas?
It's not even that. I mean, I didn't mind Avatar, but at the same time, like, I don't need to see 4 more movies of it. I mean, unless there's like something really interesting about Avatar 2 that I'm not super aware of. Like, if the trailer really blows my mind, because I've never been one to, like, question James Cameron because he is such a great filmmaker. But I don't really know if I need another 4 Avatars.
Well, and the reason I said, and here's what's crazy, right? So I think that everyone's thinking, oh man, this movie's gonna be so great, this and that. So the only reason that the first Avatar did as well as it did, that was the height of 3D of 3D in the theater. I said 3D has died. Like, so they're like, so the fad's dead. Like I said, it's done. So I don't think it's going to be as big of a thing going forward, especially with all this delay. Like who cares at this point in time?
Well, that's the other thing, is the fact that by the time this comes out, it'll have been over a decade since the first one. So you're going to need a refresher, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
People are probably already lost interest a while ago.
That's also true. It's kind of like in the same situation with New Mutants. It's like New Mutants, but like with way less hype, because there wasn't a movie that preceded the New Mutants that made like almost $2 billion. So it's like,
should just go out on a bang. Just do the one Avatar and then go on to a different idea.
But there's so much money. There's so much money.
It doesn't feel like the movie should be made into a sequel. It feels like it ended pretty well.
Mm-hmm. James Cameron, though, I mean, he's doing Avatar movies until he dies, and then he helped write the last Terminator, and then like he wrote the Alita movie, and that's it, I guess.
I did like Alita. I thought Alita was cool.
I did too. I don't know if that'll ever get a sequel, but we'll see.
Oh, I hope it does.
It didn't do like bonkers, but it has enough of a fan base where they could do it like a Disney Plus thing if they have to, because I mean,
there you go.
Now.
I feel like that kind of went under the radar a little bit. And then if you didn't actually see it, you're like, don't really appreciate how good the movie really was. You're like, oh, that was actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it in the theater. I actually watched it on an international flight that I had when I was traveling for work. And
That's the optimal place to see it.
it was the best
Right.
because like I got caught up on a few different movies. But yeah, so I'm like, it was an option, so I watched it, and I'm like this. It was actually really, really good. I was actually really impressed. I think that it would work good as a series.
Yeah, I could see that.
If they were to make a series out of it, I think that would be
cool.
I think that's
actually a great idea.
It'd be expensive.
Right? A quick 8-episode.
It's true.
Short
It would be a
season.
very expensive series, especially if it's at that level of
Sure.
quality of CGI.
I'm just thinking of it equating it to like with the Marvel shows that have been delayed now because they were going to come out. Well, Winter Soldier one was going to come out in August, and then they delayed it because they couldn't finish filming it. But those all have like movie budgets, but like they're only like 6 episodes.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you
yeah.
could do maybe a 6-episode thing of Alita. That's enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like I agree. I mean, if they were going to do that, they want to go the movie route, series route. That would be cool. It'd be expensive, but I think a lot of people there would be enough people that have interest to see it in some form on Disney Plus because Disney Plus doesn't really have too much these days. It's kind of sad.
Oh God, I can't.
Not-
Like I
it's
say
not
this all
Have
the time.
Disney Plus?
Yeah, when was the last time we opened Disney Plus? Like,
I
never.
stopped my subscription because I just wasn't using it.
So did I. I mean, I did. I watched Hamilton. That was the last thing other than Hamilton.
Yeah, fair.
Hamilton was like the one big thing. And there's like one big thing like every month, like Hamilton, and then the month before that was Artemis Fowl, and that was really bad.
Oh, that was awful. That was so awful.
I
And
can't
then-
believe that was going to go in the theater.
I know it was so
Me
bad.
either. No, it was so bad.
That and then the one and only Ivan is going to come out next month, another big movie. So that could be hit or miss. I mean, Disney Plus seems to be kind of doing that whole thing where you'll get one big event, I guess, every month. You know, it could be you roll the dice every month. Is it good? Is it going to be bad? Just got to tune in to find out because it's like kind of one of those kind of situations.
Pretty much, yeah.
There is a rumor going around. It's just a rumor at this point because I've heard. I don't want to be like one of those scooper people, but I've heard from people that Disney is looking to do a Disney Plus release for Soul, the upcoming Pixar film, since they're probably not going to have theaters open in November. So they're considering doing the whole, drop it on Disney Plus in November and give it a lot of publicity in that way. So
Yeah,
that
well,
could
they
be
kind of did that with Onward, right? Onward
Yeah.
was out in theaters for like a week or two before everything got shut down. They sat on it for a couple minutes, did on demand for like 2 weeks, and then they threw it on Disney Plus. So maybe something like that where it's on demand for a certain amount of time. So if you really want to see it or you don't have Disney Plus, you pay up, and then everybody else just gets it for free. I think
That's what
I don't
I
have any problem with that.
or something along those lines. Because I mean, that movie looks really good. I mean, Pixar,
Yeah.
Disney Plus is kind of lacking content lately. They need something, and they want to get the movie out. It would be a shame just because that Pixar movie does look really good, and the significance of it. It's like it's the first ever Pixar movie to have a black lead, I believe. I think that was like the one of the big things, and then it wouldn't even go to the theater. So it's kind of a
Yeah, that's bad
tough
timing,
situation.
but I mean, right, and it's unfortunate, but if it still gets out there, like it's still the same, and it still should be cool. But now, again, kids are sitting around home looking for something to watch too. Like,
oh yeah, I think something like that would do pretty well, just because like Trolls World Tour did so well. If they did the on demand or even Disney Plus, I mean, you can get new people to sign up to Disney Plus just to watch it.
I think so. Especially you have to prove to the people, right? There's a lot of people who have signed up for Disney Plus, either paid or got it for free through Verizon or whatever, right? There's a lot of ways you could have got Disney Plus. But if you haven't done it yet, you got to prove to those people that they're going to have a consistent flow of content for the things that you're interested in. And if you have kids and that's your main draw, then you have to prove to me that you're going to have programming out there. Like I know some people are waiting for the Marvel shows too, right?
I have been.
You have to, you have to prove that these are good and they're going to be coming. That's why people haven't signed up yet.
Yeah, it's a shame because their model. I mean, Disney Plus. I mean, it's worth it. I mean, for the price alone, but it's there's only so much nostalgia you can enjoy in a certain period of time. And if you don't have kids, I mean, as someone who doesn't have kids, to have have them sit in front of and watch it, like it doesn't appeal to me as much. But I can get why it's popular with families, just because Disney has so much kids-related content, and then you have stuff for adults like the Marvel movies and Avatar's on there and all that stuff. So it could be it could be good. I mean, but Disney Plus. I mean, that's always been the issue. Is it was The Mandalorian, and then nothing else.
No,
it was Mandalorian. Then wait until the Marvel shows later in the year, and then Mandalorian season 2, and then like in that gap, there wasn't really too much.
And thanks to COVID, that gap just got stretched even further. So it's unfortunate for that for sure. Because I mean, I saw a post a couple weeks ago that reminded me that Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be out in August, and I'm like, it's really close to August. I remember like back in like November when Disney Plus first came out, and I'm like, I can't wait till August. It feels so far away. And now we're here, and it just got stolen from us.
But on the bright side, they had already finished filming the season 2 of The Mandalorian, so that shouldn't be delayed in any shape or form for later this year's release. So we should still get season 2 of The Mandalorian soon. But that would be very cool. We'll see about the Marvel shows if they're going to push Winter Soldier a little bit just because they need to finish filming it. So I mean, it's only 6 episodes, and WandaVision, I believe, is supposed to still come out later this year, but we'll see. Especially because it's supposed to tie in to the Doctor Strange film, and that Doctor Strange film got pushed back. So who knows? Yeah,
it's so hard with those because the Marvel side of Disney is just so well thought out and planned. I at this point, I don't think we can count on anything. Like
even Star Wars, because Star Wars was the same way because they moved back all the Star Wars movies. There was going to be 3 Star Wars movies, and all of them got pushed back. Now it's going to be 2023, 2025, 2027.
And I am totally okay with that.
We don't even know what they're going to be about. So I mean, it could be good or bad. We don't know.
But it buys them a little more time. So I don't want them to rush it. It buys them a little more time. I hope that they're going to use that time wisely and get a lot of opinions. And come up with something really good and get us all out of the Star Wars fatigue. Like, don't rush it. I'm actually really happy that the next Star Wars movie is a whole nother year away. That makes me very happy because I don't want that anytime soon. There's too much. Yeah.
There's still a bunch of Star Wars coming though because they got Mandalorian season 2, and then they announced that was it the Bad Batch show for the animated show that's coming.
Obi-Wan was supposed to start filming too. I think I saw
filming beginning of next year, and then you got the Taika Waititi Star Wars film.
Yeah. So even though the new trilogy might be off a year, you're right. There's going to be more Star Wars, but then even more to my point, before you launch that next core trilogy, whatever is going to be the next Star Wars universe, like it's okay to wait.
Yeah, and then like Rian Johnson as well is supposed to have a Star Wars film somewhere in there. And then I really don't know what those 3 movies are going to be because they were originally going to be the Star Wars movies done by the Game of Thrones dudes, and then they left.
Oh, that's right.
The 2 Game of Thrones guys, people aren't too big of fans of them anymore.
No, after season 8, I don't doubt that.
It's just such a mess, man.
Them and Joss Whedon, all 3 of them. All 3 of them are not well liked right now.
Joss Whedon's been getting so much heat lately.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
His panel got canceled. Do you remember that? He was going to have a Comic-Con panel, and it just like got scrapped like last minute.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know. All right, well, everybody hates me, so
we hate you, Joss Whedon. We hate you.
That's interesting because he was king of the nerd world not that long ago.
Yeah,
how the mighty have fallen,
Yeah,
no kidding.
Well, his involvement in Justice League seems to be getting a lot of heat too.
Oh yeah,
that's the main thing, man.
Did you see? Did you see Snyder's quote? I said
about his footage.
About his footage.
Yeah, there will be no Whedon footage at all in the Snyder cut.
Okay.
Like he said, he'd like fucking burn it. I think his quote was like, "I'll fucking burn that before I use a single frame of that footage in my movie."
His first mission was
the guy that plays Cyborg, Ray Fisher, was throwing him under the bus too. He's been throwing him under the bus, and he was like, "If Joss Whedon has a problem with the things I say, he can sue me for slander." Like,
well, yeah. It's funny, because Ray Fisher originally had said something like he was saying positive things and like how the experience was actually good, and then he came back on that and he's like, you know what? I should have been honest back then. Joss Whedon was an asshole. I didn't like working with him. He ruined the whole production.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a tough time to be Joss Whedon right now. See?
Well, and just to think though, like, right, just because I said, just especially in between like Ray Fisher and Joss Whedon, like, just from what Snyder was saying, like, and what everyone was saying was that Cyborg was actually the thread that held the Justice League together in the Snyder Cut.
Mhm.
So there's actually a whole huge section, like I said, in the Snyder Cut that actually revolves around Cyborg, rather than like the few scenes we get with him, like I said, in the Whedon version.
Well, he was introduced and very underutilized in one movie, and then it's like, I think Snyder's vision was more to introduce and flesh out the character and why is he important to the team, whereas in Justice League it was almost like they just used him out of necessity. Well, this guy can talk to computers, and he knows where the mother box is. Cool, let's talk to him.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of weird stuff in Whedon's version. Like I've never been like full on release the Snyder Cut. Like I've always been intrigued by it though. Like I always feel like there was something out there that was going to be a release, like a Snyder Cut. I never thought we were actually going to get it. So I actually am intrigued to see what he has to show, especially if he's going to show no Whedon footage. Like what is he going to do?
Yeah.
It's like
how do you feel in those gaps?
I kind of want to say it up front. The STS guys have to have like an episode just centered around Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe we'll get Tyler back for that one.
That would be cool.
I think the only thing that I'm not looking forward to is I don't want them to release it episodically. Like I just want the full movie. Like,
they're gonna announce that next month. They said that they were gonna announce next month whether it's gonna be a series or a movie at DC Fandom.
I think if they do a series, then they're making a big mistake.
I think it's a lose-lose almost in a sense because Zack Snyder was saying it was going to be longer than like 214 minutes.
I would rather have an entire movie I can watch all at once that's 214 minutes long than a series of 5 episodes that's going to have all this extra commentary added in, and it's going to feel disjointed.
Yeah.
It's not going to feel like one seamless thing.
And if it's home release, I can pause it, go to the bathroom, eat dinner, do stuff with my kids, and come back. Right? I can watch it on my schedule, so it's fine.
I'm just thinking like that's going to be a long movie. Like I don't watch.
Absolutely.
That's true. It's going to be really long. But
I know it's a little bit longer than the Avengers, but Endgame was really long, but that didn't feel really long. So if it's done well, you won't even notice.
Endgame was paced so perfectly that by the time you started maybe just thinking about how long has it been, there's something else going on. You're like, now I'm distracted by this for an hour.
Yeah, there's no way this will be able to do that.
Well paced though. Like I don't know if the movie will be that well paced. So that's kind of like I guess the obstacle. I'm curious to see if we can have a very well paced, like over 3.5 hour Justice League epic with all this footage that we apparently have never seen. If he's going to cut out everything that Joss Whedon did. Yeah,
that's I think that's the thing that has me the most scared for it is the quality because it's not like you can go back and reshoot any of this stuff to make it work. No. You're using all this old footage that ended up getting disregarded during production, and now you're trying to go back and recreate this idea without really being able to film stuff that probably never got filmed for it that should have been.
Yeah, I believe they said they're going to go back to the old Steppenwolf design, which is like the oh, look who it is.
Hello. I'm getting ready for trivia, and I saw the link Larry sent to me, so I came in to say hi to everybody.
Hey, Scott.
We were talking about the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, the thing that I think Zack Snyder should have just left as the mythical being so that he can be like, oh, it was always better. Like, I wish you guys could see. I don't know why, because it's bad.
Scott, you said you're doing some trivia right after this.
It's going to go down.
The Snyder Cut is bad, just like Scott's internet.
Yeah. No, so I don't. It's with the storm going on. I don't know why. It's like every few minutes, it's like, no, you're not going to do this. So, but I just came in to say hi, guys.
Okay, hi,
Good
Scott.
luck in trivia.
Yes,
bye.
Yeah, check out Scott in trivia right after this.
Yeah,
I hope he wins. He's who I'm rooting for, at least.
He's representing for the STS guys. We're definitely rooting for Scott.
Yeah, hopefully he wins. Some of that trivia I watch is pretty tough. So whoever does win, I mean, more power to him.
Yeah, Scott's pretty good at trivia. He knows a lot about a variety of things. So I think he'll do okay. As long as they don't ask him, so it's the 4 dorksmen that are hosting it. As long as they don't ask him trivia that's specifically related to their podcast, he's gonna.
Oh, yeah, that's quite a disadvantage there.
Yeah, because they got him. They were trying to give him a layup question at the end, but he didn't know the answer because he's not a regular listener to their podcast. So I thought that was pretty cool.
But yeah, well, that kind of exposes him then.
I know, it was pretty great. So.
Like, we noticed you haven't been listening to us since you don't understand these questions.
So we got 5-ish minutes left. What's one more thing we could talk about, Tyler?
I mean, there's so many delays. It's a shame. I mean, I was really sad that Comic-Con at home. I'm sad that. I'm glad that we got it because it seemed to be quite a fun experience. But I'm sad that we didn't actually all get to actually go to the San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. Like, I never really. I was good. This was gonna be my first year going, so it was kind of a shame that I didn't get to actually go.
I don't think I knew that. That's cool. I mean, but that means your passes for 2020 carry over to 2021 though, right? So
I think so. I was gonna go I got the thing for press, so I was actually supposed to. I actually had opportunities with the podcast that I help out with to interview some of the talent, but then it fell through. Because you know how that stuff works. I mean, you guys have worked on interviewing people before. You know how flaky and finicky a lot of that stuff is behind the scenes. Yeah. So I was very close to interviewing some of the cast of The Boys, and that fell through. That would have been really cool. But I'm sure the opportunities will be. There will be really good opportunities actually at San Diego Comic-Con. Hopefully next year, if we have one next year. Because I do miss conventions in general. I know you guys go to a lot of conventions as well.
Same, man. It's weird not having conventions. It's a staple of our year, it's something that we go to very frequently. Our group, especially, we're going to a lot of them all the time.
Yeah,
I know you do. Yeah.
The thing that scares me a little bit, which I hadn't really thought of until just now, when I said, "Hey, you got tickets for next year, right? We've got tickets for next year too. Like, hopefully we can meet up." But then I was thinking, like that's if 100% of the people get to go. I wouldn't bet money on SDCC being able to do 100% of attendance next year, right? They're probably going to have to do lower, like 75 or 50. And then at that point, how do you choose who gets to go, man? Like, that's kind of scary.
Well, look what they're doing at LA Comic-Con, right? So, like I said, they just announced that. It said LA Comic-Con, they expanded out into different halls. The problem is San Diego doesn't have any room to expand.
Not really. You can't spread it out. Without cutting back.
So they're going to have to cut attendance.
They're even doing stuff like that for sports. Because, I'm a season ticket holder for the Baltimore Ravens. And currently, as of right now, some football teams, they're saying no fans. Like, you're just no fans. We're just calling it a watch. Our tickets are transferred over to next year if we want to. We can get a refund if we want to, or we can pay to get tickets if we're actually allowed to go to games and all that stuff. But as of right now, they said that the most fans that they'll hold in the stadium is only like 14,000 fans. And the Raven Stadium holds over like 71,000 people. Jesus. So it's like, how are you going to choose 14,000
out of 71? Yeah.
Well, not even that. 71,000 is just like, the amount of seats in the stadium. Like, the actual people that own season tickets, like someone like myself, there's probably at least 50, 60,000 of those.
I think it's at least half, maybe less.
How do you choose 14,000 people from 50 to 60,000 options?
Sorry, we can a random lottery, which I think is what. Even though we all think we have tickets to San Diego Comic-Con next year, like, we might not if it becomes 50% capacity, and then they're probably going to throw everybody's name just in a randomizer, and the top half get tickets. The top half maybe get tickets for the next year. Like, this could be a mess for a really, really long time.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, we can only accept 20% of you.
Yeah. That could be good, though, because, San Diego Comic-Con is packed every year.
It's great if you can get in. If you're one of that 20% or whatever, that's golden. But if you're not, that's a lot of disappointed people and a lot of outrage.
If you're in that 20%, you're going to be bombarded. Like, give me the exclusives.
Yeah.
You won't have any competition.
The exclusives will be very, very exclusive next year.
Yeah, there's room to do like cartwheels down the aisles and stuff. Like,
Can you imagine if you told somebody that, if somebody told you 2 or 3 years ago, you could, like, there's only going to be 20% of the capacity for a San Diego Comic-Con, and you could do a cartwheel, like you just said, because there's so much.
Plus, if you think about it, go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, I was gonna say, I said if they do end up cutting attendance, right? I said it's not going to be the event it normally is. I said these studios are going to come. Why are they going to? I said why are they going to come? Well, the only thing that I hope, right? I said if they do end up cutting, and they do end up cutting it down. I've wanted this for years. Make Comic-Con a pay-per-view. Let me watch Hall H. I said I'll do a pay-per-view for it. I said let me see what they see in Hall H.
Yeah. I was hoping that Disney was going to do something like kind of like in the same vein that DC's doing with DC Fandom next month. I was hoping that maybe Disney would do something along those lines where they would show at least some of their Disney stuff. I mean, Disney is such a huge company. They have, so many things now, especially now they have Fox. You could show us some Marvel stuff, some Disney, it's like some Disney stuff, and then Star Wars. I mean, they have so much stuff they could show if they could really just put on like a little Hall H of their own, whether it could be streamed exclusively on Disney Plus if you really wanted it to. I mean, the options are endless for Disney if they really wanted to do something to give us something. Because I mean, ever since Spider-Man came out, we've really gotten nothing.
It's true. But so real quick, thank you, Geek Together, for the raid. Right. So Jorge's here, Mocking Lazarus, our new friend Misty. Thank you guys. I know Dorksmen are live for the finals of their trivia, so we're gonna send you guys over there in just a second. Or if you want to drop, feel free to drop and go jump into the Dorksmen and cheer on Scott.
Cheer on Scott.
Yeah, good Scott. Hopefully he wins.
Yeah. Yeah, this was awesome. So thank you, Tyler. A lot to think about. I definitely want to talk with you again soon. Right? We should totally have you on a regular podcast sometime soon. It's hard, man. Like I like to say, like, this next movie that comes out, we should totally talk to you again. But I don't know what that's going to be.
Issue. We got streaming movies. We got streaming movies, I guess. We got
maybe Bill and Ted or something, man. Like that's not too far off.
Whatever Netflix decides to throw out on a weekend or Amazon, I was actually genuinely going to do a review for the Kissing Booth 2 because I did a review for the first one. I was going to do one because I did one for the first one a couple of years ago and I didn't like it, but I figured I'd give it another chance. And then I looked at the runtime of it and I said no because it was like it said the Kissing Booth 2 is 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I was like, no, thank you.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, we did that too. Remember, Jeremy and Nate? We did. It was when To All the Boys came out, and we compared To All the Boys I've Loved Before to the Kissing Booth. Yep. And I did see that Kissing Booth 2 came out, but I really don't have an interest in watching it. But like you said, there's not a lot of content, man.
If I remember correctly, the third one earlier. They're making a third one coming out next year. We can't win.
For To All the Boys?
Correctly, To All the Boys did way
better.
For
the Kissing Booth. There's a third Kissing Booth coming out next year.
Kissing Booth 3 kissed harder.
I know. Like, how many Kissing Booths do you need?
It's a weird thing to have to do. So real quick, we're doing a giveaway for Nintendo Switch. I know a lot of people just came in from the Geek Together raid. It's our day to share out today's code word. So if you see at the bottom of the screen, scrolling quickly, says today's code word. Oh, nice.
I kept it over here just for.
That was perfect, and I almost forgot. So if you guys are joining, go to the Player GG. The link is on all of our social media as well as the Nerds Unite Network social media. And today's code word is Texas. It gets you a bunch of extra entries, so please enter. You guys talk for a second. I'm gonna get it set up so we can send everybody over to Dorksmen. Tyler, remind us where we can find you because you have a great YouTube channel. Tell us where we can find that.
I do my best, at least, especially during the pandemic. There's not as many movies to really talk about, but I do try to talk about movies, pop culture, whether it be movie reviews, trailer reactions when we do get trailers. I do some series, like I recently did all of the Harley Quinn show. I am planning on doing the season 2 of The Boys, so that's, I guess, like the next big thing as far as goes for that. And I do want to talk about Lovecraft Country. I'm trying to think of like things I plan on trying to do in recent times because Lovecraft Country is that HBO show that airs in a couple weeks, and that looks really good. Jordan Peele, J.J. Abrams produced show. But yeah, movie reviews, trailer reactions. I do some series stuff, unboxings. I do a fair amount of unboxings. I haven't done as many recently, but I need to get back into that. But yeah, that you can find all those on my YouTube channel. It's just search my name, Tyler Calvert. It's very simple. I'm the orange icon. You can't really miss me because I'm like the main result now. Like I said, I finally won. Twitter and Instagram at It's Tyler Calvert. I give all my thoughts on a lot of things because I do talk about a lot of films and other news and all that stuff. I just don't always talk about it through YouTube.
Yeah, you share out a lot of great news and stuff too. Often you're retweeting or commenting on something before I've seen it. So definitely worth a follow, like you said. It's Tyler. I can't talk sometimes, man. It's Tyler Calvert. Great guy. We'll have you on again really soon.
Yeah, for something, whether it be a movie or we can talk about like a series coming out. I mean, there's not very many things coming out these days.
No,
but
Umbrella Academy. I keep talking about that one. I'm excited for that too.
I may end up talking about that on the channel as well. I haven't decided yet because I don't talk about too many Netflix shows just because that's a lot to do in one day or two. But we'll see. I really like the first season, so I actually am excited for season 2.
Yeah, me too. That's why I think I keep bringing it up because I'm super stoked for it. It was good and it got better like as it went on. So I'm really curious to see what they can do with like season 2.
Yeah, I like the comic book as well. I mean, from what I've read, it's really cool to see, of all people, Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance has like this big comic book series.
Exactly. If anything, I just love Gerard Way, so whatever. I'm gonna watch it anyhow. So, all right, cool. Well, thanks, man. We appreciate you hanging out. If you're still listening, you can follow the STS Guys. We're at STS Guys on Instagram and Twitter, and we are at the STS Guys on my favorite, Facebook. Give us a follow. We do a weekly pop culture podcast live every Saturday night. I think I'm going to throw the audio version up of this too, like as a special edition. A bonus episode of the STS Guys. So be on the lookout for that too. I'll tag you, Tyler, but that'll be coming. Yeah, I mean, right? It's totally up our alley. So it'll be out there soon. So thank you guys for listening. Go cheer on Scott, please.
Yeah, go Scott.
Everybody.
Okay, bye. Maybe.
Maybe.
Nope. Nope.
Uh-oh.
He clicked on something.